We're here today, Davis Island Yacht Club, just sitting down with one of our customers, and what we decided to do with a lot of questions coming in from the public about certain things. So we tried to get a testimonials on our website, and so we got a hold of Dean here and asked him if he'd sit down for an interview. And thank you, Dean, for being here.
No problem.
Can you maybe tell the customers maybe a little bit about your boat before we ask you a couple questions?
It's we have a 2016 Bennington 22 foot with a 115 Suzuki, both the same year.
And so both of them came as a package.
Yeah, I bought it
changes.
used. I bought it used, so we haven't really done anything with it.
Okay. And what was your max speed when you first got the boat? For just what was your max production speed you were doing?
Well, the best you could get out of it, holding your breath, going with the wind, is about 22 miles an hour.
And was this the conditions that you were that you frequented most? Are they?
Yeah, we're on a chain of lakes, so it's usually calm, and not too windy and stuff like that.
Not too choppy. So
not too choppy, not usually.
What's the most chop you see usually?
Well, if it's blowing, and it's a big, we're on a pretty good sized lake, so it can kick up 2 or 3 footers.
Oh, it can.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so pretty short then. It's a short chop.
Yeah.
Okay. So your max speed was 22 miles per hour
Right.
before you did a VARA Foil.
Right.
What happened after you installed the VARA Foil?
Well, I didn't know what to expect, but I was considering changing engines because it was only going 22 miles an hour.
Right.
And, I got a bunch of different boats and, it's all right, but then it was going to put me over the horsepower rate. And so I didn't know what to do. So I talked to you and I thought, well, shoot, man, this is going to be a whole lot cheaper than a new engine.
Correct.
And then I'm still in the Coast Guard limits of the, recommendations for the boat.
Right.
So it was amazing, the outcome.
Okay, so the max speed after we put the VARA Foil on, do you remember what that was?
Well, we put the VARA Foil on, and then I just took it back to the house and didn't change prop, didn't change motor placement, didn't change nothing. We just put the VARA Foil on. And from 22 miles an hour, I was alone in the boat, but it was running 30 miles an hour, and it was banging on the rev limiter. 6250, and his motor's just cutting in and out because it's over rev.
So the Suzuki has a rev limiter to where when you start hitting it,
it'll just scatter the motor where it won't go up any further.
Okay. So when you called us back, then we went ahead and recommended a change out.
Oh, of
right?
course. Yeah, we had to.
And so the change out we recommended was the prop, and what we do is we go to a higher pitch prop. So with the propeller company that we came in with 2 different stainless steel replacements because Dean had a stainless steel prop before then. And we ended up going to, I don't know if you remember this, but we ended up going to a 4-blade, 14-inch by 19 pitch
19
prop.
pitch.
And after that conversion, or after that change out, which was really easy, by the way, and it was approximately $400. But do you remember the speed gains that we had immediately then?
Well, the RPM dropped down to reasonable levels, and then the top speed then was 33.
33 miles an hour. And that's what you're at currently today?
Yeah,
Okay.
every day. So now instead of maxing out and only being able to go 22, now you're cruising at 22. It's a big difference.
Right. Now, so, we didn't speak about this, but when you bought this, when you bought the VARA Foil, did you do a demo ride?
No.
Or did you have any idea what was going to come out of this?
No, but you see surfboards with hydrofoils. I mean, you see hydrofoils everywhere now. And so you knew that it's going to do something. You knew it's going to do something. So, and I just decided that that's going to be a whole lot better option than replacing power.
Right, right. So what were your expectations? Was there any trepidation as far as fears of, am I going to flip my boat?
No, I didn't. No, I wasn't worried about none of that. But I didn't know. I'll tell you what, the wife is used to me doing all kinds of crazy things with hot rod cars and stuff like that. And when we got back, I took her for a ride in it, and she was like, okay, you got this one right.
That's great.
She calls it her magic carpet ride.
All right,
It's
cool.
got so quiet, and it's just smooth.
Yeah. That's, and obviously I heard that before, but thanks for saying that. So on a scale of 1 to 10, after that conversion, that immediate 22 to 30 miles an hour, what did you think just right then?
10. Night and day difference.
So how many people do you normally boat with in those conditions?
Usually it's just the wife and I, but we have family to go up to the lake house and stuff, so they can load the boat up. They can be grandkids and nieces and nephews, so, you know.
Do you know what the most number has been there?
Well, you know, I'd say 6 or maybe 8.
So other people are using the boat and they find the system, you know, or
yeah,
there?
It's amazingly easy. You know, you just tell them, if you don't want the VARA Foil to come into play, just keep it trimmed down, and it's just going to be like a boat always was. And if they want to play with it, all you got to do is just bump that up trim button and bump it up, and it just all of a sudden lifts up. It's very controllable. People, I just tell them on the phone, they call me back, they're amazed after they use it.
Well, I tell you, that was when I first tried it, when I first drew this up on a napkin, and we went ahead and went out and put it in the water. It was like, wow. It was quiet, you know. It was quiet and amazed is definitely the word.
Yeah, you wouldn't know how much your pontoon boat is noisy until you give this up.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. So the kit installation. Let's talk a little bit about that. When we installed this, right? Okay, I was there. You actually put the hydrofoil together yourself, right?
Yeah.
On the dock.
We went
a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was, you know, if you can run a drill and a ratchet and draw a straight line and do a little measuring, it's really a piece of cake.
So we assembled the hydrofoil pieces, left, right, they went together, you did that, you put the Loctite on.
Yeah.
Then I had gotten the hardware all together, and then you and I basically worked together to install this thing, add a trailer ramp.
The boat lives in the water on the lake house, and we don't even have a trailer. So we actually put it together in the water. It was really nice and went fast.
Okay, and so approximate how much time do you think it took us from the initial setup to when we first got a chance to go on the boat after we reloaded the tools back on to the boat from the ramp?
2.5 hours.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about the same. So, so if you were to rate that difficulty on a scale of 1 to 10 for somebody that of your caliber, maybe you can speak about your caliber, what you do for a living.
Well, I'm a general contractor, and I've worked on all kinds of things.
So you know how to run
I'm
a
used
drill.
to drill,
Yeah. So that was pretty evident when I was down there working with you.
Yeah.
So basically, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you know how to run a drill, operate a wrench, and understand instructions, you could.
It's like a Rector set.
So you'd say
it's easy.
A rating of 1 to 10.
And the difficulty?
Yeah.
4. I mean, just because some people might not be able to read a tape measure, you just want the thing straight and drill some holes and put some bolts in.
Correct.
And that's it.
And that's part of our install, right? We want to be up inside. In your case, the tubes were the innermost diameters. They were the shortest distance. And all we wanted to do was level up from the tunes up to the beams, and then go into the location that we provided for you.
Exactly.
The distance back, which you earlier said that we only moved 1 hole from that location.
Right.
So can you speak a little bit about that location? That location we provided for you front to back off of a dimension from the middle of your motor to the furthest most point forward.
We put it in there and didn't know what to think. I knew there was all kinds of adjustments, so felt really good about that. But when we took off with it, I was amazed at how close it was. I mean, I could have just kept it there if I need be. If I didn't want to, you know, I'm always tinkering with something. So 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 anyway, I was amazed right off the bat. It was unbelievable right off the bat.
Yeah, and part of our design is, as I told you, to be comfortable with, is that there's 24 inches of adjustability down there.
Right.
So if we miss by a little bit on our calculations, you can adjust it out
easily. And it's, you know, where you get most of your weight in your boat, and everybody keeps their weight differently. So
correct. Yeah, that was a good point. Thank you for that. So as part of the kit, we give you 3 things, right? We give you the struts, which are on the side, and we give you the hydrofoil extrusion, which goes between those 2 struts. Right. That's what you had done on the dock. That took you, you just said how much? No time to install with the Loctite on the screws.
Right.
Okay, so then once we had that assembled, we had the 2x3 VARA angles that were 74 inches long, and they had to be installed.
Right.
But after that, after we got the VARA foil on, next was the VARA plate.
Right.
Okay, VARA plate installation. How would you rate the boat with the VARA plate or without a VARA plate in terms of the interaction with the VARA foil?
Well, it's obvious with all the whale tails they put on outboards now and how it does with the trim that this plate was going to really help with the control, and it just made it to where it's so easy. The trim just is a positive. You can feel it. It's just a very controllable feel with the VARA foil.
Okay, and would you say that is it like, how's the learning curve for it for you? Like, because you know, I'm the designer. I'm sitting here. I'm saying, wow, this is easy. But for you, from the first time you got in there until I haven't, you know, I was in the boat with you for maybe what, 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, I mean, I think it was somewhere around 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and we said, okay, we'll come back. We'll put the stainless prop on. We went up, put the stainless prop on. We were in the boat with you maybe for 30 more minutes. So in that hour's total time frame that I've been on the boat, you've had a lot of time to play.
Oh yeah, it was 5-10 minutes. You got it easily, and then it's just having fun.
And so what's the biggest trick for those guys, for somebody that might be interested in this product? What's the biggest trick from when you first got in to now?
Okay, well, when you start out and you got some throttle in it and you go to hit on that trim button, don't just push it and hold it, because you're going to fly away. Just take and just bump it, and it'll just you'll just feel it lift, and you'll get into that sweet spot, and you just bump it up and down, and it's very controllable.
So short bumps.
Oh yeah,
and that would be.
You can feel it. You can feel every bump.
I think I was probably saying that to you when we first
It's
started out.
easy for me to tell my kinfolk and friends and family going to the lake house that the pontoon boat has a new hydrofoil on it. They're all like, "Wow," and I'm like, "No, dude, just leave it trimmed all the way down, and it won't come into play. And then if you want, just bump it up, and you'd be amazed." And they all call me back just amazed at how well it does.
That's great to hear. Thanks for that.
And it's easy to control.
All right, so finally, you know, trying to keep this as short as we can for everybody. In your words, like, for somebody that may be interested in buying the VARA foil, might be on the fence about buying one, or maybe even scared about purchasing one, that they're going to, you know, the boat's going to fly in midair or anything like that. In your own words, what would be the benefits of the upgrade, or even what's any of the bad points of the VARA foil? I mean, just to be honest with the
right. I guess the best thing is the quietness, the smoothness of the ride it's just night and day difference. The other thing is like I say, you know, if you wanted to go 22 knots out running that storm, you know, on the way back to the lake house, and you're screaming that engine. Now you can go fast, or you can just cruise at 22 knots, like turning less than 4,000 RPMs, instead of trying to turn 6,000 to go 22. So you're saving fuel, you're saving wear and tear on the engine, and the boat is so much easier. You can feel like it's just gliding through the water.
All right, so thanks for that. So last question from me, and then I'm going to give you a shot to ask me one, and I have no idea what's coming. And just for the viewers out there, you know, we did give Dean the questions ahead of time. He didn't know what order they were coming in, but we just wanted to at least give him a heads up what his questions are, and I don't have a heads up of what's coming to me right now. But would you go back to, knowing what you know now about a VARA foil, would you turn around and go back to a boat that you had, or purchase a new boat? Would you also look at putting a VARA foil on that? I mean, well, can you comment on that?
If I get another pontoon boat, if I sell the one I got, I'm keeping the VARA foil. It's going with me. He's not going to go with the boat unless the guy gets right with the price. Okay. But no, I'm not having a pontoon boat without a VARA foil.
Okay, so you're selling it without the VARA foil.
Yeah, it's mine. It's mine.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So now you get to fire off a couple questions to me if you want.
I guess the only thing I had was, you know, each notch, because there's bunches of them, up, down, and back and forth. Do you have a certain idea or a thought of what each notch might do?
Yeah, great question. So, you know, that's going to be a percentage of what the boat weighs, right?
Okay, so it's like a balancing thing.
It's a balancing point, but think about something. It's also a balancing point of where each person puts their crew, right? Like some people travel around with the crew in the middle of the boat, right?
Yeah.
Because they want to be close to them, they want to have that interaction. Others, when we have 6 or 8 people, crews are going to be forward, crews are going to be back. So that's going to affect the attitude of the boat, just like an airplane would
Right.
when it's loaded up. So to answer the question, we don't have an exact, because each person's use of the boat is going to be different. So that's why we came up with that 24 inches of flexibility, because even though we're going to give you a dimension that says it should be here, right? You may have all 4 people on the front of the boat, and now all of a sudden that means that VARA foil needs to go further forward from where it normally would. In your case, you said 1 hole. You know, another person might be going 2 to 3 holes further forward to take out that forward pitch, right?
Okay.
Is that it?
That's about it.
That was easy.
I know.
Okay. Well,
The
listen.
whole thing is easy.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Dean, for coming out
Yes,
today.
sir.
Really appreciate the interview.
Anytime.